My favorite part of spring, Herzlich, the rules. Because every school's got a different scoring system. Blue will be the offense, white will be the defense. Halves are 15 minutes. The defense has to have an ability to post scoring here. 6 for the turnover, 3 points for a fourth down stop. A 3 and out is 2 points. A sack is 1 point. And there will be no skill return here. This is just kicking. And you see Terry Moore. Here comes the offense. And it will be Grayson Loftus with the team here first.
Oh, that's Maalik Murphy.
Oh, it is Maalik Murphy. Yep, sure enough. So Maalik Murphy, and he'll have Jaquez Moore, the running back with him. Hazley is the tight end. And we're looking at 3 receivers. So 11 personnel, kind of the staple of what Jonathan Brewer's offense is expected to be here.
Look how wide these receivers are out. Outside the numbers, a lot of vertical passing routes.
And Chandler Rivers defended that play on a ball intended down the near sideline for Jontavis Robinson.
Yeah, you see Maalik Murphy, he has that kind of what used to be prototypical size at quarterback, 6'5", 235 pounds. You see he was top 3 ESPN 300 pocket passer coming out of high school.
That time looking for Higgins.
Loves throwing the ball in that fast-paced offense. So you can do it with both, but there are very defined wrinkles that you'll get depending upon the quarterback that's in the game.
There's Jeremiah Hazley with the catch.
Now we're going 7-on-7.
Yep. And here's the throw, and the catch is made. Nick Lampert, who only played in 1 ball game a year ago, makes the grab. And so Murphy picks up a completion in his first throw on the second possession.
This kind of switching between offensive linemen on the field and 7-on-7 has been something that they've just had to been doing throughout this spring because of their limited numbers. And we talked to Jonathan Brewer about it, of how this timing has been working out.
Here's a 3rd down and 4 scenario. Murphy going to take a deep shot, and he's looking for Brown, who makes a catch. Did he keep his feet in bounds? And they are going to rule it a catch at the 18-yard line. Terrific throw, better catch from Sean Brown.
A good ball by Maalik Murphy, and it's kind of that inside fade that we saw them working down in the red zone, but this time out in the field, see if that foot gets in. Does that left foot taps in, but Maalik Murphy shows off that strong arm.
Karan Boyd is in the backfield. Here's Murphy going to take a shot for the end zone and overthrows Lampert. That's Murphy's first miss in the possession. He's 3 for 4.
You're keeping the tally over there?
Unofficial.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
It's the official, unofficial tally.
Yeah, it checks it all the way down, and this is Boyd, who we mentioned a moment ago. Former wide receiver, moved to a running back spot. Had 6 carries for 16 yards a season ago for the Blue Devils.
They're going to get the running back out in pass routes a lot with this type of offense. So Karan Boyd is one of those guys who's intriguing to this offensive staff because he has that receiver background and can line up in the slot or in the backfield.
So second drive ends with an incomplete ball thrown to the back line of the end zone. The defense has got a couple of points on the board now. We'll continue in a moment.
It's just been getting to know the guys on and off the field, in the weight room, out to dinner, whatever it may be. But yeah, I think it's just a day-by-day learning the little things about guys. I think, I think the biggest thing is intentionality, and then he's just genuine. Anything he says he's going to get done, it gets done. And if he can't get it done, he gives an honest answer.
And for you personally, to go through a quarterback battle, what is that like?
Oh, I think it's just a lot of fun. I think Maalik coming in, Maalik's been a great guy. We've actually become really good friends. So I think it's just a lot of fun. I think we're both getting better and making it tough on the coaches.
What is the biggest takeaway for you from a season ago getting reps as the QB1?
I think it's just to get more comfortable. I think it was 5 games last year. So I think my biggest lesson learned was just to take it game by game and rep by rep.
He's already won road games in the ACC.
No, and I think that puts it into perspective a little bit, but there's also...
I want to go back to this last throw by Maalik Murphy here, because we see all the toolbox right here.
Hit that drop, makes a decision, and go. Very well thrown ball. Now, I haven't seen that every time he's thrown it, right? So if they can get him there, they have time, right? You got all spring, summer, and all that stuff, but if he can get that, right, then you could be ready for 3,000 yards passing with this type of offense.
Well, and with the velocity to which it leaves his hand.
Yeah.
Here's Murphy in that time. Now, that might be a pressure. The linebacker up here wants that to be a Derek Brown Jr. sack for the freshman from Waxhaw, North Carolina. Chandler Rivers was in coverage. But we saw big 44 peel in here right from the middle.
Yeah, and you didn't get much.
Yeah.
Wasn't much in his way on that blitz, but good timing. And being a true freshman, as you mentioned, coming here in January, he's a guy that's turned a lot of heads so far in workouts and then this spring ball.
There's Murphy throwing again. That is picked. He was looking for Jordan Moore. And they could throw a flag at the 26, so we'll see here. That may have been a throw on the house.
Yep, I think it was a free play.
Offside.
Ooh, they will announce
Defense, number 93. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
He had 33 drives a year ago in Austin for Steve Sarkisian, of which there were 12 scores in those drives. 8 touchdowns, 4 field goals. But here's the other note: not one turnover.
You think about possessions. You'd love to score that many possessions, but when you're not turning the ball over, that's also allowing your defense to do its job, right? And you're able to play field position games. I think that's one of the reasons why Grayson Loftus had success last year too, is he didn't turn the ball over very much either. Only 4 interceptions in those 5 games he played. Anytime you have a new quarterback, whether it's Maalik Murphy transferring in or Grayson Loftus filling in for Riley Leonard, to have the confidence to be able to throw it when you need to, that's huge for a play caller.
Yeah. Ball, by the way, incomplete. Terry Moore might have held onto the jersey, but that went by the boards. Here's a little tunnel screen, and that's Jordan Moore on a second down play. Offense still trying to get on the board here late in this first half, if you will.
The technology's there, and all it does is, I think it's going to create less paranoid coaches, right? I mean, college football coaches, that's a paranoid bunch. They'll have those Surface or tablets, whatever, so they can see those pictures right there. So no video or anything on that, but they'll have pictures of what the previous play was from the series.
Apollos Cook, by the way, was the intended receiver for Maalik Murphy. Todd Polino kicked the field goal, so the offense is on the board. Polino, by the way, won the field goal kicking job. He and Charlie Ham were coming out. They started last year in a pretty stiff competition. Polino took control of it. He made 13 of his last 14, including 6 straight to close the campaign a year ago. So pretty reliable spot there for Manny Diaz in his first year here at Duke. And you see the throw back in the center of the field from Murphy, and that's Cook again on the catch.
I'm curious, Mark, from your perspective, with a fast-tempo offense, how different is maybe the communication versus a team that might not go with the same pace? You still think you'll see sideline signals to help with the receivers since only one guy gets the communication device?
Yeah, so a lot of times when you do that hurry up, right, you'll get the initial play call will be signaled to the wide receivers or even told verbally to a wide receiver if they're close to that sideline. I think it's the adjustments, right? So they'll get the initial play call. I think it'll be really good for, this is filled with transfer quarterbacks who are first time in systems. That's what all of college football is. So, instead of having a wristband or 2 wristbands, one on each arm to be like, oh, this is the play, they can call it through their heads and they can give extra details. I think that's the biggest thing, is that you're not just getting a hand signal to say the play. You're getting to the quarterback and say, hey, we're going to run this play, right? But make sure you remind the backside tackle to cut off the DN, right? Like that can be expressed to these quarterbacks. And I think that's kind of the extra coaching points you can have on the field.
They're not known for going fast. I think teams now can add that gear in certain situations.
And I think it'll be interesting, the adjustment process, because there still will be a little bit of teams trying to figure it out, and maybe they learn some ways that they can do things, can't do things early on in the season. So I think that's certainly a story that we can follow. And then to the tablets and the being able to access some video, which you will in college football be able to see a little bit of video, which is different from the NFL, how maybe that can change some of the things that they can teach and install, and maybe the intricacies of an offense. How that will all come into play.
You better have a clock guy and you better have a timeout guy.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I think that there's all things that'll be managed, and it'll be beneficial. And I love how it I love the 2-minute warning in the NFL because it just sets you up. It says, okay, we're in crunch time, right? We need it now.
Lampert does not hold on to this at the back end. This is a terrific throw, Mark.
Great throw.
Oh, that's Eli Panko wearing number 4. I beg your pardon. We had him listed as 6.
Once you hit that UNC game and then the league games, you got to have your guy in place.
I want to follow up on that in a moment because I think you bring up a really good point. Let's go downstairs to Taylor's. Maalik Murphy starts the possession here.
Yeah, so Maalik Murphy is number 6, but on the back of his helmet, you'll see there's a 0 and a 6, and that 0 is in honor of his teammate, running back Marquise Collins, who suffered a right knee injury this spring and most likely out for fall as well. And so he wanted to honor his teammate, and he did so with that number on his helmet, guys.
Wow. That's pretty solid.
They must have been fast friends, right?
Well, Marquise is from Bryan, Texas. Went to College Station High School.
Yep.
I'm going to hazard a guess he might have grown up an Aggie fan. Murphy comes in from Austin, Texas. We're crossing bridges already. Huh?
Hey, you know what? 2 people who lived in Texas at one point together maybe were friends.
Right?
There's a possibility.
Yeah.
But either way, right? You got a guy coming in, whether he knew him or not. The thing to do to honor a teammate in that way.
He throws a rope to Harvey, and there's a sidearm shot back in the middle of the field to Sean Brown. I mean, these are 2 terrific throws by Maalik Murphy.
And you're starting to see. I think what you're starting to see is him feeling a little more comfortable, right? I think that the lights are on. You're in the stadium. And I think there's a little bit of pressure for anyone in that situation, especially when you're trying to prove that you deserve a job. And I think you start to settle in a little bit to the fact that, look, we're just at practice. Let me go out and play.
Yeah. Who Murphy is honoring with the 0 on his helmet. And Jaquez Moore has nothing there. Terrific play. Defensive front. That's Michael Reese, a grad student from Nashville.
Those brands weren't brands until they built their brands. I mean,
right.
Before last year, it's a perfect opportunity for a lot of these guys like a Wesley Williams, like a Michael Reese, like a VJ Anthony, like a Ryan Smith to build their brand and, play phenomenal defense.
That made this an attractive job for him.
Well, and not only what has been done, but also he talked very
What a catch.
That was nice.
Heck of a grab here. This is Jordan Moore, and that's Chandler Rivers on the bottom of the stack fighting him for the football. It is.
You don't think that's competition right there? Better ring that bell.
Wow. What a throw and what a catch by Moore, huh?
And there you go. That's the first touchdown we've seen of the day.
Stenson comes over to see if he still can't get it out of there.
We saw this matchup right in the one-on-ones where they rang the bell earlier in practice. And, how beneficial is it to both guys? Chandler Rivers and Jordan Moore, both phenomenal players in the ACC. They get to go against each other all the time in practice. And you see the competitive nature. Great job of high-pointing the football.
We're going to see if Grayson Loftus can punch one in here for you. There's a throw, and that got picked. Coming back up the near side.
Oh, you better score.
And Vontae Floyd, one of the young guys that Coach mentioned to us yesterday. So did Jonathan Packey, young man from Norfolk, 3 times an all-state player. Stepped right in front of that ball from Grayson Loftus.
See him at the bottom of the screen, just sits. Really good job of seeing the inside receiver that cut his drop down where the safety could play over the top, and he just, again, for a true freshman to understand the route concepts and make a break on the football. Now the only thing is you can't get tackled from behind, young man. Go score. Great job.
Spencer Jones was the intended receiver, and Tay Floyd steps in front. Creates the turnover for the Duke defense with about 3.5 minutes to go now in this second half.
When you came to Duke, what excited you about playing under Coach Brewer's offense?
I just knew a lot about the history of the offense, the high flying, a lot of throwing the ball around, vertical passing game, moving fast, a lot of passing yards. And I feel like kind of coming from the offense that I came from, it'll be good for me to kind of step away from that pro-style offense and, kind of expand in my strengths of the game, and that's putting the ball downfield.
How do you feel like you've adjusted to the new system?
It's been a lot of ups and downs, honestly, because I had to – a lot of it. I'll see you in a second.
Absolutely beautiful.
It's a smart man right there.
Huh? That's a smart guy,
smart
right?
Smart guy. Hey, he had one ear on the coach.
Yeah.
Always have one ear on the coach. You
Yeah.
can't let TV distract you from your job.
Taylor, is that the first time you've had a guy run off on you in the middle of the interview?
I want to say no, but I'm trying to think of another time.
I'll say this, I thought he gave you a really good answer.
Yeah.
Ups and downs. I mean, it's a complex system, right? And it's entirely different from what he ran in Austin.
If he can find his niche of what really is his comfort zone, the coordinators can play off of that and make him feel comfortable in games.
So we're getting a look at Murphy, who bailed on Taylor to go back and take
football.
a rep. If I'm Manny Diaz, I know what Pac's saying tonight if he's watching this spring game. If I'm Manny Diaz, I'm not telling anybody anything. And I may start one guy the first game and another guy I may go the Jim Harbaugh route from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Where you go 2 quarterbacks, I think, I think the interesting thing is that they are not enough different, I think, to warrant a 2 quarterback system.
Okay.
I think that they are similar enough, and I think that hasn't been one guy who has been a clear, hey, this guy is really, really that much better. So competition continues.
Look at this. All from ground level.
Yum. Little arm angle.
And he had a little pepper on this. Holy smokes. Here's Murphy. He had pressure in his face. He makes a throw there on the second down.
Big quarterbacks, and why that's important. It's because they can make big throw out of compromised positions.
He picked up a drop ball and then threw a strike to Moore, but incomplete and out of bounds against Terry Moore.
Yeah, and it wasn't a 10-yard downfield strike. I mean, he picked that ball up and whipped it with his wrist 50 yards downfield to the opposite sideline, right?
Yeah.
That's what that strength can do, getting the ball out,
I don't know that Taylor saw the sidearm throw from Murphy. That might qualify him as a Cubs farmhand.
All I know is that the biggest party of the year was always after the spring game.
Yeah,
So you finished up practice.
Yep.
And you go out and you celebrate with your teammates. But I think they did away with a lot of the hey, if the Saints, right? They were giving people treats for taking players out.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
We used to get honey baked hams.
How about this? A little sidearm action there.
We used to get honey baked hams for going ham on defense.
How about that?
Hard as a,
Yeah, I got you. Murphy with a shot to Harvey there into plus territory in the final minute. And with the offensive line in there, that's VJ Anthony.
Ooh.
And I think Anthony pulled his helmet off. I think he got a slap around the head and a timeout taken by the offense. Another look here, Mark.
Just big with speed and a dip. Looks like it poked in the eye, possibly.
Yep. We talked about depth here. We mentioned Jacquez Moore at running back. The competition at quarterback's been clearly outlined. The depth at wide receiver, there's some real power there.
Those are things that we will find out as we get closer to fall starting, but they do have the bodies there, and they have shown some flashes today as well.
Yep. Third down play underneath the stick, and the catch is made. That's Shamir Hagans, the junior from Philadelphia. And Duke's going to hustle up to the line here on a 4th down play. 4th and about 7. And here's the snap to Murphy. Quick throw on the inside, Pankow the catch. And I think they're going to give him a healthy spot to the 37.
Good delivery.
Defensive end, yep. So here goes Murphy and 11 seconds left to go. Going to wheel and shoot one to the far side. Boy, what a nice catch. Harvey stepping out of bounds at the 31.
Great throw.
Yep.
Deep out route, whips it across the field. That's not a throw that is easy for a quarterback to make from the opposite hash.
And it looked for a moment like Polino was going to come kick a field goal, and now he is. Remember, he hit from 53, uncontested from 53, and this is going to be, I think, right about, that's going to be
48.
just shy of 50. And what will be the final play of this spring game? So Todd Polino, who's hit already 3 field goals in this game. And right at 49 yards to. And there's the kick. And Polino on will drive that through. And is that the final play? I think it is. Yep. So Manny Diaz gets a full look here.